the creator of world-renowned Stop Smoking in 1 Hour hypnotherapy. Dr. Luke has been studying hypnosis for over 16 years now and has trained all over the world. After over a decade, Dr. Luke is still the youngest person certified by the American Board of Hypnotherapy. Before coming to Canada, Dr. Luke had a very successful clinic in the world-famous Harley Street in London. He has already established a successful practice here in Ottawa and has been featured in all forms of media such as Tone Magazine, Revive Life. Thank you. Daytime Ottawa, CTV Morning Life, and CBC Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Luke Michael Howard.
Thank you so much, Crystal. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Luke, and I'm a clinical hypnotist. That basically means I'm a professional head hacker. I hack people's minds to help them get rid of traumas, make more money, or just have incredible sex. Thank you. That always gets a round of applause. I specialize in helping people quit smoking in 1 hour and losing weight when all else has failed with my gastric band hypnosis and our anti-stress program, which we call Kill Stress.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can you hypnosis so I can find somebody to have incredible sex?
I've got a thing called Luke Utopia, which we can help you to do that. That's another company. Grab me at the end, but no, we can. Seriously. Got to spread the love. Our motto, actually I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been in Ottawa for 6 years. My office is in Westboro. And our motto at Luke Gnosis is free your mind and your ass will follow. So why hypnosis? Well, who here wants to feel happier? All right. Who here wants to have more confidence in their life? Who here wants to lose weight? Who here wants to stop smoking? Who here just wants to get rid of some crap in their life so they can move on and be magnificent? Well, hypnosis can help you with all of that stuff. But I want to try a little experiment, if I could, with you. If you could humour me with this. I'm going to show you what I want you to do, then I'm going to ask that you do it. And I'm going to explain after what it is. So just watch me first, and I'm going to ask that you do this. In a moment, I'm going to ask that you stand up, if you would. And I'm going to ask that you put your feet together like so. Put your left hand on your left leg. And stick your right finger out like so. Make sure you've got some space, because you're going to turn, so you don't take anyone's eye out, right? So I don't know if we're short for that. And I'm going to ask that you just twist slowly with your hand on your thigh here, as far around as you can, until you become so tight, so stiff, so rigid that you don't want to move anymore, if that makes sense. So if I could get you just to stand up now, and if you need to space out a little bit, feel free to do that. And to the side, and then folks, if you just face me, lovely. If I get you to put your feet together like so, but make sure you do have some balance. Put your left hand on your left thigh, stick out your right finger like so, look at your right finger, and then I want you to slowly turn as far as you can until you can't turn anymore, until it becomes stiff and rigid and you couldn't go any further. When you've gone as far as you can, just note what's in front of your finger. Make a mental note of what's in front of your finger. And, all right, now, I want to try something really cool. And I'd ask that you close your eyes. You don't have to, you can do it with your eyes open if you want. But if you were to close your eyes, what I'd like you to do now is just relax your hands, relax your feet, close your eyes, or keep them open if you want. And I just want you to imagine, just pretend that you could stretch 10 centimeters further the next time you did this. And if you could stretch 10 centimeters here, and how would it feel as you stretch 10 centimeters further? And once you've done that, now imagine that you could stretch 20 centimeters further. If you were that flexible, if you were that fluid in your motion, if you were that under, you could maneuver 20 centimeters. What would be in front of you? How would it feel? What sounds would be inside your head? Once you've done that, one more time, I want you to imagine what it would be like now if you could stretch 30 centimeters more. 30 centimeters more, you could stretch yourself. You could move into it. You could feel that beautiful, fluid motion, stretching 30% more. What would you see if you could do that? What would you hear? And how good would it feel if you could stretch just 30 centimeters more? Open your eyes if your eyes were closed. Good, just shake it out for a moment. Now what I'd like to do again, put your feet together, but this time, close your eyes for me. Again, left hand on your thigh, right finger and hand out in front. Now I want you to safely twist as far as you can, imagining that you can go further and further this time. You're more flexible, you're more fluid, and your whole life is right there in front of you. And when you've stretched as far as you can, because there are no limits, then and only then open your eyes and note what's in front of your finger. You've probably gone further. Make a mental note and bring it back. Good job. Who went about 10 centimeters further that time? Awesome. Who went about 20 centimeters further? About half of us. Who went 30 centimeters? Wow. Anyone more than 30 centimeters? Good job. Anyone more than 40 centimeters? Good job. Well, give yourself a round of applause, guys. Everyone take a seat. Would you like to know how you did that? Yes. I'm going to ask that again. I don't think they heard me. Would you like to know how you did that? Yes. I can't tell you. That's what we call that open loop. I'm going to explain it a little bit later on for you. But what is hypnosis? There's a lot of myths and misconceptions about hypnosis. So the best way to kind of describe it is there's two parts of your mind. There's the conscious and the unconscious. Now the conscious part of the mind kicks in when we're about 5 to 7 years of age. It's the part that analyzes things, that's very logical, that edits information. It's the part that thinks it runs the show, but it doesn't really run anything, because neuroscience has proved over the last few years. Your unconscious mind, however, controls pretty much everything. I mean, you don't need to think about breathing every second of every moment of every day. You just breathe. That's your unconscious mind. You don't think about what your next thought's going to be. Your next thought just bubbles up. That's your unconscious mind. When you feel certain emotions just come out of the blue like that, that's your unconscious mind. And if I could get you all just to raise up your right arm in the air right now, look at your fingers and bring it down. Now if you try to do that consciously, there's about 147 muscles from your shoulder to your finger. So if you instructed all of them consciously to move, would be here for about 8 hours for your arm to go up like so. But instead with your unconscious mind, just think, I want to raise up my right hand, and your right hand raises up. Now, if you could fix all the problems in your life by just logically analyzing them, none of us would be fat, none of us would be addicted to anything, and none of us would be broke. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, hence why psychotherapy has such a not successful hit rate in helping people. Now, with hypnosis, what we can do is we can bypass that critical factor, the part that gets in our way, the part that thinks it's really important, and we can go directly to the source of your unconscious mind and really start to make rather rapid changes there at a deep unconscious level. Best way to think of hypnosis is a way to communicate directly with your unconscious mind and just bypass that critical factor. How do we do that? Well, there's a few ways that we do that actually with hypnosis. One of the ways that we do it is when you first come in to see me, we need to relax you. So the first thing that we do is we give you a relaxation. We call it progressive relaxation, from the tips of your toes all the way to the top of your head. This is not hypnosis, but once your body starts to quiet down now, your mind starts to quiet down a little bit as well. And then what we do then is we stop that hamster in your head going around, the part that keeps talking. So we start to silence that critical factor voice inside your head. And then once we've done that, we start to put in suggestions. And what are suggestions? Well, everything in your life that you believe is a suggestion. Whether it's true or not true, everything you believe about everything was a suggestion. You picked it up from someone one day. You didn't sit down at a table when you were 1 and said, well, I'm going to choose to believe X, Y, Z. You just like to pick up beliefs and pick up suggestions. And unfortunately, most of these suggestions we're unaware of. So I don't know if anyone's ever had an experience in their life where everything on the surface has seemingly been going okay, but you felt quite shitty for no particular reason. Has anyone ever experienced something like that in their life? You've got no logical reason. You got a nice husband, wife, you got a nice job, a nice car, nice kids, but but you just don't feel good. You don't feel as good as you thought that you should feel. Well, that's what we help you with in hypnosis. So suggestions, we suggest positive things. If you come in and you want more confidence, we suggest that you have more confidence. If you want to become a non-smoker, we make suggestions of being a non-smoker, because repetition is the mother of all skill. But we'd only have about a 30% success rate if we did that. And there are some hypnotists that just use suggestions and have about a 30% success rate, which is still about 20% more successful than talk therapy. But what we do is a couple of other things as well. We do a thing called parts therapy. What are parts? Well, if you imagine inside your mind there's a filing system, the only difference between the filing system in your mind and the one you might have in an office is the one in your mind, as you crack it open, it has emotional names like love, like hate, like excitement, like fun, like trauma. And what we do in hypnosis is we access that file. The reason you've come to see me, say you had a trauma in your life, we open up that file and we find out why you're doing it. Now, you think consciously, well, there's no reason I would do a phobia to myself. That would absolutely make no sense. But every problem we do in life, be it depressing ourselves, anxiety in ourselves, yeah, I just made that word up, phobia in ourselves, there's always what we call a secondary gain, something we get from it, otherwise we wouldn't do it. Now, I don't mean that you're consciously aware that I'm making myself feel bad every day, but we do it unconsciously, over and over again, and we get really, really good at it. So what we do with hypnosis is we find out what part of you is getting satisfaction from doing that negative or destructive behavior, whether that's smoking or overeating or that phobia. We find out what positive thing you're getting from it, and rest assured you are getting something positive from it. Because otherwise it's like this, it would be like going to a job every day and never getting paid, and you're not rich. You wouldn't keep doing that if you were getting nothing out of it. So we find out what positive benefits you're getting from it, and we find a way to redirect that satisfaction so you can get all your same needs and values met without doing something self-destructive to yourself. And then we do a thing called regression. And regression is really, really powerful. And I'll illustrate with a couple of stories. I had a lady that came to see me a few years ago, and she was 300 pounds, very, very heavy. She was about 5 foot tall. She came into my office, she was 40 years of age. She's like, "You don't need to regress me, Dr. Luke. I know why I'm fat. My husband left me 5 years ago and I've gained 150 pounds. When anyone tells you why they know why they've got the problem, they don't know why they've got the problem. So we regressed her, and she went all the way back to she was 2 years of age. And when she was 2, her mum and dad were having this horrible argument, and she was really, really scared. So she left her bedroom, went all the way down to the larder, her big kitchen, and her mum had left this big cake out to thaw overnight. And she started to eat this cake. She didn't even like the cake, but it started to make her feel safe and comfortable. Then her unconscious mind made her forget about it for the next 33 years. Her husband leaving her triggered this mind bomb, this landmine in her mind that had been dormant for some 33 years, and she gained 150 pounds. No diet was fixing it, no trainer was fixing it, no medicine was fixing it. So once she realized that it was just to keep her safe, and now that she was an adult, she was 40 years of age, and she didn't need to eat that cake anymore to feel comfortable and to feel safe. She allowed herself to let go of that, and she lost 150 pounds over the next year and a half once she made that connection, and she still kept the weight off. Another story, I had a lady who had a terrible fear of cats. You might think, well, okay, no big deal. But she was just about to move in with her fiancé and his mum, and they had a cat. And she's like, I've got to deal with this now because this could hurt the relationship. So we regressed her, and when she was 3, she was in her pram in her bedroom, and it was a very stormy night. There was a lot of thunder, there was a lot of lightning. The cat had been locked in the bedroom with her. The cat got freaked out, she got freaked out. Cat jumped over the pram, scared her even more. In her head, she eliminated and deleted the thunder and lightning and just saw the cat. So inside her head, she made what we call a complex equivalent of cat means bad things happening to me, and it started this phobia inside of her. So when we made her realize that she actually wasn't scared of cats at all, it was just that thunder and lightning, she was able to go back, heal that part of herself up, make the learnings that she needed to make, and I'm happy to report 2 years later, she doesn't have that phobia anymore. So it can be that quick how you build a phobia, and it can be that quick how you can get rid of it with the right tools. So, who would like to know how we did that finger thing and like you could go 10 or 30 centimeters more? Who would like to know how we did that? All right, excellent. So, I did a bit of persuasion techniques with you. I did a bit of open eyes hypnosis with you guys. So if I break it down, like, you know, you see the magic uncovered when they tell you how they did the tricks? Well, this is what I'm going to do with you right now. Now, the first time I asked you to point, your eyes were open. So your attention was distracted by a lot of things. I sprinkled in words there like stress, tight, tense. There'll be a point where you stop. I changed my physiology a little bit. I changed my face muscles to emphasize certain things. So unconsciously, you were picking up all of these things. And then you stretched, and for most of you, you went to a certain level. Then I asked you to close your eyes and almost clear the board inside your head and just imagine what it would be. Just imagine and pretend if you could go further. Now, by closing your eyes, it eliminates a lot of the distraction right then. Then I started to use words like flexible and supple and lubricate and move further than you've ever been before. And I leaned on certain words as you did it. Then I got you to practice it a couple of times inside your head. 10 centimeters. Repetition is the mother of all skill. 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters, until you rehearsed it over inside your head. Then I asked you to practice it, and you did it, and you all went further. So all it was using elements of hypnosis with that simple little tool, just to prove how strong your mind is and how strong your visualization and your imagination is. Does anyone have any questions about hypnosis or about what I do or about me? I'd speak really high so we can hear you.
I'm very interested in it for a specific reason, which I won't hold.
Okay, we can talk at the end if you want.
Yeah. But my fear is always that I can't.
You can't be hypnotized. Do you want me to prove that I can hypnotize you in about 30 seconds right now? Would you be game if I could just show you something really cool and I promise not to humiliate you and it'll be fun? Would that be okay? All right, come on up, boys, come on, give a round of applause, everybody. I promise this will be fun and we're not going to get anything too personal. What's your name?
Jessica.
I'm Luke, nice to meet you, Jessica. Jessica, what I'm going to show you what I want you to do, then I want you to do it. I just want to show you how strong your mind is. That's all it is, all right? Do you have a good focus, imagination, and intelligence, would you say? Because all you need to do to be hypnotized is you need to have an IQ of above 70, which means you're not severely mentally retarded. You need to be able to follow simple instructions, which you've proved here, and you just have to be game, willing to do it. I mean, I once had a client and his IQ was very, very low. There's a misconception that the stupider you are, the better you're hypnotized. No, it's the smarter you are. I had a guy once and I just simply asked him, he paid me his money to stop smoking, and I asked him to close his eyes. And he's like this. I'm like, is this guy messing with me? Like, what's going on? So I said, just go ahead and close your eyes. I'm like, what's going on? Is this guy stupid, or am I speaking a different language? And I said, is there a problem? Why are you not closing your eyes? He's like, I thought you were going to make me close my eyes for me. Then I poked him in his eyes and he closed them. It's just about following simple instructions. So I'm just going to put this mic down for a moment and I'm going to demonstrate what I want you to do. You're going to watch it and I just want you to do it. Ask you to do in a moment is I'm going to ask you to interlock your hands like so. Guys, you could do this one as well if you want to play along. You're going to interlock your hands like so. Almost imagine like you've got a piece of coal between your hands. I'm going to ask that you bend your elbows like so, like you're making a desperate prayer. You might want to make one while you're there. I'm going to ask that you separate your index fingers about 1 inch apart and just focus on the gap in between and watch what happens. So I get you to do that now. To interlock your hands like so, very, very tight. Bend your elbows, open up your index fingers, the pointy fingers, focus on the gap between, because in a moment they're going to touch all by themselves. And there's a magnet, you see your fingers already moving. That's right, just go with what happens naturally. Like there's a magnet on one finger, there's a magnet on another, and they're getting closer, and just go with it, and closer, they're almost there now, and closer together. That's right, you can resist, but they're just going to touch all by themselves, and they're touching. Relax, open up your hands. Good job, give a round of applause. Was that something you did deliberately? Or did it just happen? Yeah, it just happened, right? Cool. Good. Give her a round of applause. That means you can be hypnotized, by the way. Any more questions about anything, folks? Yes, sir, and I'll come to you after.
How long was regression?
Regression we can do regression. Sometimes we can do one session and we get to the root cause of your problem. Sometimes it may take as many as 2 sessions to get to the root cause, to get rid of it once and for all. Okay.
Do you teach auto-suggestion?
Yeah, well, suggestion and auto-suggestion are pretty much the same thing. So we're giving you a suggestion there. We do idiomotor responses where we ask like your little finger with a pendulum to do certain things, which is outside your conscious awareness. So yeah, we do some auto-suggestion as well.
Your success rate, did you say it was 30%? Or no?
Oh no, when they chart suggestion, to be honest, when it comes to hypnosis, I've only done a couple of studies for the big things, for smoking, for weight loss, and for pain control. Like, we've had people, there's a doctor called Esdell, who about 100 years ago, before they had medical anesthetic, he would saw people's legs off and stop the bleeding with suggestion. And it's all documented out there. Esdell, and painless childbirth and stuff like that. Traditionally, for most psychological habits and problems, nothing too deep like schizophrenia or anything like that, but there's generally about a 10% success rate with most talk therapies. With suggestion-only hypnosis, about a 30% success rate. With regression, and being that the person wants to be there, they're committed and they want to do the work, we're looking at success 80 and above. Yeah, the most important things about hypnosis is, number one, you want to be there. You're not there because your husband, wife or mum's making you. You want to be there, you want to do the work, and you're ready to be fully committed. And if you come in with that kind of attitude, you'll be successful. If you come in with the attitude that this is a magic wand, and I'm a magic hypnotist, and I can simply go like that and take away all your problems, and you passively don't have to do anything, doesn't work so well. If you come in with like, no, I've had enough of this, I want to get rid of it, I want to be better, then we can definitely help you with that stuff. Are you wrapping me up?
Nope.
Oh, okay, I'm doing it. Just like, if I'm going over, tell me. I love to talk.
It's okay.
Any more questions, guys?
What are your rates?
What are my rates? It all depends. What we do is we have a pre-screening with everybody over the phone. We can talk at the end, or we can arrange a screening. So I can find out a little bit more about you if you wanted to do some work together, tell you a little bit about how it works, and I'll tell you how many sessions I think it would take to help you to deal with whatever it is you want to deal with. Yeah.
How much per session?
How much per session? I think I just answered it. We don't do session by session. We have a chat on the phone so I can find out. We call it a pre-screening process, so I can find out. We don't do like one. It's not like a psychotherapy or a personal trainer. It's like, I will listen to what your problem is, get you to fill out a full personal history, and I'll tell you how many sessions that I think it will likely to take. Yeah, we'll go from there.
Are you covered by insurance?
No, and I'm happy. I'll tell you why I'm happy. I'm happy about it because I like that people have to reach into their own pocket and depart with their hard-gotten cash, because that lets me know that they're ready. And so can I tell you a little bit of a secret? When I used to charge $10 an hour 20 years ago, doing the same stuff that I do now, and I'm a lot more expensive than that now, my success rate was very, very bad. I mean, about 10%. Just by raising my rate and people having to realize, oh, well, now I have to really make a physical and financial commitment to this. Just by that alone, success rate went through the roof, because people are like, no, this has got to work. It's got to work. Any more questions? Awesome. Well, guys, it's been an absolute delight speaking with you tonight. Listen, I've got a free thing.